we are in storm center coverage here on the Weather Network. Why? Well, we could see the most severe weather we've had all year in parts of Ontario and Quebec today. Now, yesterday was the prairies getting a bit of stormy weather. Now, in days past for Alberta, it's been a little stormy as well. Take a look at some of the hail in our most western prairie province. Now, heading a bit further east in the prairies, Manitoba, some funnel clouds and some pretty compelling visuals. It really does seem like the first tornado of the year for Manitoba, at least the first, maybe a couple others in there as well. We'll wait for more details, but what a stormy Wednesday it was. Look at those beautiful kind of post-storm clouds in the prairies. So captivating. Now, as I mentioned, some of that stormy energy that brought the tornadic activity to Manitoba, now that shifts over into Ontario and Quebec for today, and it's quite a severe risk of weather here in this area in particular, highlighted in red. That's where we have the greatest likelihood of things like tornadoes, large hail, damaging wind gusts, and torrential rain, but such a large area under the influence of potential stormy conditions for today. The heat and humidity is very widespread in eastern Canada. That's a big factor, that kind of energy that these storms can tap into. Once that cold front moves through, that's going to be the trigger. Now, in more central and northern parts of Ontario and parts of western Quebec, earlier in the afternoon is when those storms get going, but it's actually mostly a storm-free day for cities like Toronto. But as we get into the evening, a pretty impressive line of storms moving through, and then some lingering showers into tomorrow. But the stormy activity does continue into our Friday in parts of Quebec and for the Maritimes, New Brunswick in particular. But as for the overnight hours, here's a look at our storm threat, the area in orange where we have the possibility of severe weather. And then again, this spills over into our Friday as well. But a quick note looking ahead, look at the temperature dip behind this stormy weather for Toronto. But then as we get into next week, look at some of these humidex values. These are going to be widespread across eastern Canada. Humidex values feeling in the 40 range or the low 40s. Take a look at Wednesday, very widespread extreme humidity across this part of the country. Now, for today, we also have some thunderstorms that could make their way into the Maritimes, but they're likely going to be non-severe in nature. It's when we fast forward to tomorrow, we have that potential for some severe weather, not just for the Maritimes, but into parts of Quebec as well. Now, we're going to be seeing a bit of unsettled weather for Newfoundland today, but then here's a look at that stormy weather pushing in tomorrow for New Brunswick. Now, winds are actually quite strong for St. John's and much of Newfoundland, but the stronger winds tomorrow, that's going to be targeting our maritime provinces. Now, here's a look at this afternoon, fairly quiet in the Maritimes before things start to build into tomorrow. Here's a look at our Friday, fairly unsettled for New Brunswick in particular. Now, off to Western Canada, we talked about the severe weather in areas like Manitoba yesterday. Still some lingering storm energy, but just not quite the same dynamics as yesterday. Non-severe in nature across that stripe from northern Alberta into southern Manitoba. Tomorrow, we do have a chance of some severe weather. You see this pocket in Alberta and some of the thunderstorm potential shifting into BC as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on that to finish off our work week. And again, here's a look at some of the activity in the prairies. Nice sunny day on tap in parts of Alberta and southern Saskatchewan, while others may be seeing some of those scattered thunderstorms flare up and some breezy winds for this part of the country for the rest of the work week.